Hello everyone, in this video I will show how to create a grouped stacked bar chart, something like this. It is easy to create a stacked bar chart for a data frame. I'll put a link down in the description below. But to have a grouped stacked bar chart is somehow different. So let's take a look at our data file. We are going to study greenhouse gas CO2 emissions into the atmosphere by three items: cars, trucks, trains, at different times: current, spring and summer 2025, and spring and summer 2030. And then I would like spring and summer 2025 to be next to each other, spring and summer 2030 to be next to each other. So I have written the code over here. I will go through the code line by line. So we read the data file and then store it in a data frame. And then I would like the first column, which was time, as you can see here, to be the index column. So I set the index and time to be index over here, and then in place to be true. And we read the headers of all columns, and then we store it in a list. It becomes a list over here, and then we call it calls. And now to create a grouped stacked bar chart, I'm using a trick over here to group stacked bars. So X is 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. It means that I'd like bars to be located at these points. So in this list there is no 2 and 5. It means that I'll be separating, let me show you here, I'll be separating column 1 from column 2 and 3 from column 4 and 5 by not putting anything at point 2 and then at point 5. So this way I create 3 groups. Now we can go ahead and create a stacked bar chart, because they will be grouped by choosing proper X values. So let me tell you how we can have in fact stacked bar charts. Okay, so grouping is being done, so let's do a stacked bar charts over here. So the policy here is, we read the data frame column by column. So we read the first column, and then we use plt.bar, and then we print it, we plot it with versus X values, which was 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. So we have the first column, we have X values, so plt.bar X and Y will give us the first set of column and the first set of bars over here. Then we go to the second column, we read the second column, and then we plot with respect versus X. So this gives us the second set of bars over here, with only one difference. If I want it to be stacked, so I have to specify bottom for the second column, for the second set of bars. So the first column is going to be the bottom for the second column for the second set of bars. And then the summation of the first and second column, as you can see, the blue and orange are going to be the bottom for the third column, for the third set of bars that we can see over here. So let's go ahead and see the code. So I have a for loop over here, and then it is in the range of df.shape1, which means number of columns in the data frame. And then, so the first value of I is going to be 0. So we read the first column, and then we plot Y values versus X using plt.bar, and then we specify width, and then the bottom is B, which is 0. As you can see, the length of B is the same as length of X. And then the label for the first set of bars, or the blue bars, is in fact the header for the first column. Okay, so now I can go to the next column and then plot the second set of bars. But the thing is, I have to prepare B, or bottom, for the second set of bars. So that's why I add two lists, B and Y, element wise, and then it is going to be the bottom for the second set of bars. Another important thing that I have here is how to print these numbers over here. There is no direct way to print these numbers over there, but I can use plt.text to print these numbers as text at these locations. So the first argument for plt.text is location. The second argument is what you want to be printed. Another important feature of plt.text is that it prints one thing at a time. So it can't print like all 5 values in one go. That's why I have a for loop over here, and then it enumerates x. It means that it goes through x. It gives you index and actual value of x. So as I said before, the first argument is location. So I need to know x and y values. So this n gives me the actual element in x, and then b index gives me, in fact, the value of y. Look at this, please. So the value of y is 10. I want 10 to be printed here. The value of y is 14. I want 14 to be here. So in fact, the y coordinate is the thing that I want to be printed over there. And then I want it to be centered and then font size to be 9. So everything is fine. Now I can go ahead and then work with legend, grid, and y label, x label, and everything. So the title for legend, I could call it items or whatever. And then title underline font properties, and then you can specify size and weight, and then the location and everything. But there is only one thing here, that I find tricky. We have 3 columns: cars, trucks, trains. When I put legend over here, it will print cars, trucks, trains, top to bottom. But the thing is, cars is the first thing that is being printed. So I want, and then it is at the bottom. So I want cars to be the lowest one, to be at the bottom. So because it is easier to follow. That's why I put reverse to be true. So instead of cars, trucks, trains, I want trains, trucks, cars to be printed as a legend. And then I have font size and then frame on. So I would like to have a frame around the legend. And then I have grid properties over here, easy to follow. And then Y label, so greenhouse gas, CO2 emissions. And then, the thing is, if you want 2 as subscript, you use $signs and then underline 2, and then you have font size, font weight, and label path. Oh, label path is in fact the distance between Y and the label itself. So this distance is called 10. So, it's called label path, and then I thought 10 is okay. And then we have Y limits 0 to 50 based off the numbers that I have. And then I have Y ticks. So I would like to have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 over here. And then this is the way to print these numbers. And then I have font size and the rotation to be 0. And then X label, sources of CO2. As you can see, sources of CO2 over here. 2 is subscript. So that's why I have $sign over here. Another very important thing is X ticks. If I don't put this one over here, I will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I don't want to see those numbers, So what do I do is that I use plt.xticks. The first argument is the location. The second argument is what you want to be printed over there. So I want to have something at 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. I don't want to have anything at 2 and 5. So I specify X over here. So at these locations, I would like the index values to be printed. What are my index values? Current, spring and summer 2025, spring and summer 2030. And then I have font size and then rotation to be 0. So when I run this, I will get this grouped stacked bar chart. So I hope you found it productive. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and let me know. Have a lovely day and thank you for listening. Bye.